Yo, what's up? It's Tech Baron again on the Radios and More channel. Today we're talking about the PRC 152 replica. It's not made by Harris. This is made by TCA. This is a TCA radio. It's a faithful reproduction of the PRC 152. It's got basically Baofeng guts in it. It's not a super heterodyne receiver. It's a system on a chip. So it's 5 watts out, good diversity, good selectivity. It's all digital. Has a lot of interesting features. It's a killer radio. Supposedly it can do APRS. There is a GPS module inside this thing. So the clear button is going to be your menu. And then you got your scan, your light time, how long you want the light on. You can select between 1.5 watts or 5 watts. It's pretty much all you get. Squelch, digital squelch is actually pretty good, selective. So dual weight. You can listen to 2 channels at once. These are the keyboard LEDs. The keys on this feel really good. They're not like a Baofeng type keys. They feel like they'll last a long time. It's got the China girl in there, China voice. You know, so China chick. You know, chicks up in there. Your ANI, which is a digital code that gets transmitted. It's kind of like MODAT, sort of. Modulated data. Narrow wideband support, 12.5 kilohertz. Roger beep, which is kind of cool. The Roger beep on this radio is very unique. It doesn't sound like anything else. You can select between electrostatic and electret if you have an external headset. This uses a 6-pin DIN, so you can use your contacts, whatever you want, you know. Busy lockout, you got your busy lockout. All Baofengs have this. This is important. This is your plus or minus shift for offsets, so it can do repeaters. And there's your, 0.5, 0.6, whatever. Scan step when you're physically scanning manually. That's just the power on Harris logo if you want it on or off. PTT ID. This has a programmable 8-digit ID, kind of similar to DMR. So you can transmit a chirp, like a data burst. Right when you hold it, it'll chirp a little bit, and it supposedly sends out a MDC 1200 capable data burst, which is pretty high tech. Motorola can decode that. The font for the logo, for the startup logo, is actually baked into the system, so you can like tell it to say different things and it'll have that cool fancy looking font. So this is time to transmit, basically how long you can hold down the PTT before it physically cuts off. Dual watch, you can set it. Digital tone coded squelch. Got all your hertzes in there. You got names, so you can name your channels, which is cool. This has a relay function, so it can act as its own repeater. It'll receive and then transmit again after like a couple seconds. I've had extreme difficulty. It like glitches the radio sometimes when I try to mess with that, so I don't really use it. But it does work, but it's buggy. I haven't figured that out yet. Yeah, after 0.5 seconds all the way up to like 6 seconds, you can set it to repeat again. And you could tell it to repeat out of the antenna or out of the speaker. So it's like kind of interesting. You can repeat PTT. If you press the PTT, you can tell it to repeat. It's very, very versatile when used as a repeater. This is the famous GPS function that everybody talks about. It does take a lot of power, so I don't use it. Dual standby, so TX selection edit. That's something to do with the software. Scan, there's your scan. You got your Vox. So it's a pretty dope radio. The build quality is really up there. You press your enter key to go into VFO. Press your enter key again to go back to memory mode. It's a pretty sick radio. It's expensive. These are like 200 to 300 bucks. And also, this radio will not work with a TRI KDU. Trust me, I bought one and tried it. It doesn't work. The pinouts are different. So don't buy a TRI KDU thinking it'll work on a TCA. It doesn't work. But I like it because the backlight stays on all the time. It's really good build quality. Solid metal. It's heavy. It's big. It's massive. So it's got some good power output. I've gotten 30, 45 miles on this thing. Here's W6SF at the top of Mount Diablo inside the house. That's really, really far away from here. So this butter blade antenna does a pretty good job for what it does. It's these are made in-house by TCA. It's not necessarily Baofeng guts. I have taken this apart, and the guts definitely do not look like a UV9R or a UV5R board. So they're doing some kind of in-house thing. So that's pretty cool. It's a pretty nice radio. I'm happy with it. So if you guys have any questions or comments, you know, that's how you do that. And if you go into you go into VFO and say you want to program 462525, you know, that's actually telemetry from a satellite. So 462575, we're gonna go into the menu. So you put in the frequency you want. This VHF and UHF capable, so that's it. And it has FM radio too. You hold the right key and it'll fucking turn the radio on. But you type that in and you hold your menu. You hold the enter key, okay? And you go above the last channel that you saved, and it will program that into the memory if you hold the enter key again while it's flashing. That's how you program this radio without having to connect it to a computer, because there's a lot of ways to do that, and that's one of them. Like, this is a FPP field programmable radio, and you can also put these super dope labels on there too, so you can do that. The rocker up here is to select your channel. This thing has incredibly insane battery life. We're talking like over a weekend's worth of use, like consistently, because there's 4 18650s in there, and it's actually so overkill that I put some shittier batteries in it because it's just like it's just a workhorse. It just keeps going. I've had this thing for over a year now. Haven't had any problems with it. It's pretty dope. Also, for reference, the microphone in this thing is actually right there. So it's right here. And also, there is an issue with this particular TCA unit. I don't know if all of them have this issue, but the transmit volume is kind of low. You have to like yell into this thing, kind of. I don't know why. I might have the microphone MDC set up wrong or something internally, but you know, might want to, you know, but the build quality of this thing is where it's at. This is like serious full chassis, all metal. The only thing that's not built well on this radio is the power knob. I worry that that'll give out before the rest of the radio will. So if you guys do you know, milsim stuff or airsoft, or just need a pretty decent HT, check out the TCA 152 UV. That's the model that I have. The UV denotes the GPS. So Comes in a case. It's pretty cool. Nice hard case. I recommend this radio for certain things. If you're just doing this for amateur radio, this is a little overkill, and you're gonna need a satchel pouch to even wear this on your side. It doesn't have a belt clip. I put one on there. So yeah, if you have any questions, please remember to comment, rate, subscribe. This is a short video review of the badass TCA radio. Thanks.